Oh, our love will slowly die, and I will shed a tear.
You're always on my mind, circling round my brain. It happens all the time. I close my eyes and a vision will appear. Wish that you were next to me, but you're no longer here. Wish we were together, not all alone. Wish we were together, not all alone. Break the barriers that you and I would make. There'll always be a part of you down deep inside. In the corners of my heart, you're always on my mind. Wish we were together, not all alone. Wish we were together, not all alone. Follow all the cycles of the night. Up and down the feelings go, I know it is right. Reaching out to touch your love, but emptiness is here. Wish that you were here again. You'll always be there. You'll always be there. Of the night, up and down the feelings go, I know it is right. Reaching out to touch your love, but emptiness is here. Wish that you were here again. You'll always be there. I feel the cold dark night go trembling through my skin. Bar the doors and windows tight, so I won't let it in. All alone. The trees have finally shed their leaves and winter is here. So our love will slowly die and I will shed a tear. Wish we were together, not all alone. Wish we were together, not all alone. Wish we were together, not all alone. Slowly dying, I will shed a tear. Not all alone. Not slowly.
Hey guys, welcome to The Awakening. What if you actually get up and you don't want to do anything? You don't want to do the light work that you feel you're put here to do. You have had a really difficult night where you felt ill. You get emails from people telling you that what you're putting out is rubbish, particularly people that you respect, and they have evidence that it's rubbish, and yet your gut tells you it's not. And anyway, we're here to explore. And there's very little love around you at this moment. You wake up and you're on your own. You just feel completely alone, and you feel like, I can't do it today. I can't do it today. Now, lots of you must be waking up like that, the way I woke up today. I just can't do it. I don't want to do it today. So don't. So don't. You see, that's the misconception. The misconception is that you have to do anything. No one told you that you have to do anything. You know, when I studied A Course in Miracles, I learned that nothing or anyone, Jesus or, no one, God, told us that we have to do anything. Our job is to be happy. Our job is to be peaceful and calm and happy. That's it. You don't have to do anything. Today, I'm in child mode, and this is Myrtle. Myrtle Fillmore, my bunny. I named her after Myrtle Fillmore, the healer. The healer who healed herself when everybody said that she wouldn't, that she couldn't. She's falling apart and she's old. Look at her. But she is my comfort zone, my comfort bunny. And today I feel about 5 years old. I feel alone. I feel abandoned. I feel sad. And I feel like I can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered. I can't get Adobe to work properly to do the editing of my programs. And as I say, I woke up and there were these emails that I really didn't want to see. Where's the lottery grant? Why is it taking so long to get the money? Yada, yada. You know, the ego is happy to go on and on and on and on. That's the darkness, my darlings. But when I go outside, I see a beautiful blue sky with little puffy clouds and a beautiful sun shining down on top of me without any chemtrails. And then I open A Course in Miracles and it says, I am among the ministers of God, of love. Let us today be neither arrogant nor falsely humble. We have gone beyond such foolishness. We cannot judge ourselves, nor need we do so. These are but attempts to hold decision off and to delay commitment to our function, which is to be happy. It is not our part to judge our worth, nor can we know what role is best for us. What we can do within a larger plan we cannot see in its entirety. Our part is cast in heaven, not in hell. And what we think is weakness can be strength. What we believe to be our strength is often arrogance. Whatever your appointed role may be, it was selected by the voice for God, for love, whose function is to speak for you as well, seeing your strengths exactly as they are. and equally aware of where they can be best applied. For what, to whom, and when? He chooses and accepts your part for you. He does not work without your own consent. We do not consent. But he is not deceived in what you are and listens only to his voice in you. It is through his ability to hear one voice, which is his own, that you become aware at last there is one voice in you. And that one voice appoints your function and relays it to you, giving you the strength to understand it, do what it entails, and succeed in everything you do that is related to it. God has joined his Son in this. His Son becomes his messenger of unity with him. His Son, you, his daughter, me. It is this joining to the voice for God or love, of father and son or daughter, that sets apart salvation from the world. It is this voice which speaks of laws the world does not obey, which promises salvation from all sins with guilt abolished in the mind, that God love created sinless. Now this mind becomes aware of who created it and of his lasting union with itself. So it's itself, the one reality in which its will and that of love God are joined. A messenger is not the one who writes the message he delivers, nor does he or she question the right of him who does, nor ask why he or she has chosen those who will receive the message that he or she brings. It is enough that he or she accept it, give it to the ones for whom it is intended, and fulfill its or role in its delivery. So my job as a messenger is to give the messages, not to think about them, not to dwell on whether they are true or not, but to give the messages as a media company, to send out the messages of other people's truth for you to decide. A messenger is not the one who writes the message, as I said. It is enough that he or she accept, give it to ones for whom it's intended, and fulfill his or role in its delivery. If he or she determine what the messages should be, or what their purpose is, or where they should be carried, he or she is failing to perform his or her proper part as a bringer of the word. So if I decide what is true and what isn't true, I'm not giving others the chance to express their truth. There is one major difference in the role of heaven's messengers, which sets them off from those the world appoints. The messages that they deliver are intended first for them. And it is only as they can accept them for themselves that they become able to bring them further and to give them everywhere that they were meant to be. I cannot teach you to come into the light until I am able to come into the light. I cannot teach you what is good and what is not good for us until I am able to feel in my heart exactly what is true and what isn't. But I can give other people's truth. Like earthly messengers, they did not write the messages they bear, but they become their first receivers in the truest sense, receiving to prepare themselves to give. An earthly messenger fulfills his role or her role by giving all the messages away. This is perfect. This is A Course in Miracles, and it's answering my question. The messengers of love perform their part by their acceptance of his or her messages as for themselves. I'm sure they understand the messages by giving them away. They choose no roles that are not given them by his or her authority. And so they gain by every message they give away. Would you receive the messages of love? For thus do you become his or her messenger. You are appointed now, and yet you wait to give the messages you have received. And so you do not know that they are yours and do not recognize them. No one could receive and understand he has received until he gives. For in the giving is his own acceptance of what he received. I give out what I'm receiving, and then it's up to you to make your decisions. Don't turn against me. I am a messenger. For you are now the messenger of love. Receive his messages. That is part of your appointed role. Love has not failed to offer what you need, nor has it been left unaccepted. Yet another part of your appointed task is to be yet accomplished. He who has received for you the messages of love would have them be received by you as well. For thus do you identify with him and claim your own. It is very long. We practice giving him what he would have, that we may recognize his gifts to us. He needs our voice that he may speak through us. He needs our hands to hold his messages and carry to those whom he wills, for those who wait in misery may be at last delivered. And he or she needs our will united with his own, that we may be the true receivers of the gifts he gives. Let us but learn this lesson for today. We will not recognize that we receive until we give it. You have heard this said 100 ways, 100 times. Yet belief is lacking still. But this is sure, until belief is given, you will receive 1,000 miracles and then receive 1,000 more. But will not know that God himself has left no gift beyond what you already have, nor has denied the tiniest of blessings to his son or daughter. What can this mean to you until you have identified with him and with his own? Our lesson for today is thus: I am among the ministers of love. I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize I am free. The world recedes as we light up our minds and realize these holy words are true. They are the message sent to us today from our Creator. Now we demonstrate how they have changed our minds about ourselves and what our function is. For as we prove that we accept no will we do not share, our many gifts from our Creator will spring to our sight and leap into our hands, and we will recognize what we received. Thank you. I love you. I am among the ministers of love. I am grateful I have the means by which to recognize I am free. And so I am allowed to give you the messages that I believe may be true. And then if you want to come and debate that they're not, then we'll do it in front of the public. I'm moving on TV. That's my answer. And that is the answer, I think. I have an idea. Let's get the debate going. Please bring on that group. And we can debate with Mark Steele what is really going on. I'm open to this. Are they? There we go. Moving on TV, we'll bring on different groups and is very happy to. Okay, let's have a look at how to stay sane in a crazy world. So basically, we need another debate. Another debate as well. With you, Mark, and this group. Let's see, Mark. Yeah, we need another debate, and then we can see what the truth is, and the public can make their own decisions. Okay, how about that? I shall ask Mark about this. How to stay sane, meditation. Today I'm going to do some meditation. I'm letting go today. I'm meditating for the amount of time I can, as I know this will benefit me and make me more aware and awake. Meditation today, guys. You need to meditate. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact Mark Steele. I'm going to put out the debate we've done, and I'm going to ask for another one with this other group. They call themselves something, the Cosmos, ukcosmos.org. Take care, love you lots, have a beautiful day.
Moving on TV and awesome people from around the globe. And today I am interviewing a Bollywood star. He works in Bollywood, and he's basically the Devdut. He played Devdut in Buddha. The Devdut, the crazy, insane, twisted, sad Devdut that we all know if you watched the 53 episodes on Netflix. And that's what I know him as. And I'm very, very happy to introduce Jagat Singh to Moving on TV.
Namaste. Namaste. It's very good.
Namaste, and thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you so much. It's and I'm thankful to all of you who have show and who have liked it, and you've made me come here and interact with people. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to have you. As I said, myself and lots of other people, particularly people from the community, we sat and watched the whole series of Buddha, and we saw you go through absolute hell from top to bottom. And you know, when you actually died, we all cried. Are you in Mumbai at the moment? Are you in Mumbai at the moment?
Yeah, I'm in Mumbai, very much in Mumbai.
Okay.
Yes, I am in Mumbai right now.
Great, great, great. Okay, so you were born in Jaipur, Rajasthan, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, and you actually studied geology and chemistry originally.
You know it all. Yeah, you know it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That's true.
and then you suddenly decided to become an actor. How did that happen?
I was always very keen in acting, and I was very fascinated towards movies. But my school never supported any such activity, so it was always there with me. But it was a interesting incident which happened in my life, that I was going to my college, and somebody asked me for a lift, and I felt like helping the guy, and I said, of course I can do whatever you want. And I asked him, what do you do? And then he said that I work in theater. So I got that clue, I got that window into theater, and I love to come to your theater, can I? And then he took me there, and that was my first appearance, or that was my first exposure to the world of acting and theater. So I requested them that if I can play any part, or can be part of the team. So they took me as a background helper in the play. But that started, and then from there I got to play small roles in theaters, and then it started with some part-time work at the local TV channel in Jaipur, where I was born and brought up and was studying. And gradually then I started doing small roles in TV. So it's been actually a long journey, and started really from scratch, like from doing a backstage work in a theater to do small roles in TV, and then eventually anchoring shows at the local level there, and then ending up in coming to Mumbai and doing the films.
Well, you've progressed, you've worked your way up the ladder, so to speak. So let me just
from scratch, you can say that.
But what I wanted to talk to you about is as an actor, you played the arch enemy of Siddhartha or Buddha. From the beginning of time, you tried to destroy him in every single way possible, and you tried to get rid of him, and you expressed such a huge amount of malevolence and cruelty, and so much twisted anger and rage that came out of you. Now, how did you do that for 53 episodes? Where did you get that from? How did you manage to tap into such cruelty? Because I've had people
they want me to ask you that because it was so, you're such an amazing actor and you really put it across and we believed you. You know, there was no acting there. You were there. You were there. You became Devdutt, and that's what a good actor does. How did you do it, Janga?
I'm a trained method actor, and when in method acting, we actually try to become the character. We try to get the character in your body, in your mind, and it's not just about reading the lines and delivering them, but it's becoming the character. That's what is the best definition of acting, is just be the character. So, very interesting incidents happened with me when I was in the process of approaching the character and was preparing for it. Like in first 2-3 days, I started getting nightmares that I'm actually Devdutt, and I used to get up in the middle of the night, and it was not a very pleasant thing to experience that time. But I never resisted it. I let it come in my body because it was one of the best things I was doing so far in my 16, 17 years of struggle as an actor. It was one of the best roles. So I let it happen with me. And I've read a lot about Devdutt, and he used to think that he was very, very unlucky because whatever he liked and desired, it was always taken away from him.
Everything went wrong.
That was the biggest.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry?
So everything went wrong for him.
Is there any
It's
problem
like
that
you knew. Sorry, you knew everything was going to go wrong with Devdutt. Everything went wrong with him.
Yeah.
So you started
So
to
I
feel
started
sorry
feeling.
for him.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
And see, everywhere I used to feel. I started feeling very unlucky. Like if I go for important work, my car will get punctured. I will get red signals. I'll get stuck in traffic jams. So I started feeling that actually, or maybe it was just the psychology, or it was the way of seeing life. But I was seeing life as if life is not happy with me. It's taking away my opportunities. It's taking away the happiness. It's giving frustration. So maybe it's just a way of looking at things. And I started becoming Devdutt. Yes, it was very difficult on a personal point because I never used to. I forgot what is peace. I forgot what is happiness. I used to get up in the middle of the night. I was so restless that time. But it helped me, the moment I used to go on the set, it helped me transform into Devdutt because I was already living a life of the character. I was already living like Devdutt. And I started enjoying the process because that whole year I gave to this particular series. I didn't do anything else. I didn't take any other acting jobs. And it really helped me because I used to transform into somebody else the moment I used to wear clothes. My directors used to tell others that don't go close to Jagat, don't go close to, because he's become Devdutt and he can be dangerous also. So I used to stay alone in the room and on my sets also. I never used to interact with anybody, and I actually became the character. There were scenes when Devdutt was drunk, so I used to drink on the sets. I used to drink wine. I never drink in my day-to-day life. I don't drink, I don't smoke. But for Devdutt, I started drinking, and I performed a few of the scenes, actually drinking like a couple of bottles. So, and in the scenes where I was doing a lot of action, I was actually hitting myself with the
Yes.
hunter.
That's something I was going to say.
It's one of the most amazing experiences I've ever been.
Okay, oh my God, I was going to ask you that because Devdutt used to punish himself. He used to literally whip himself every time something went wrong.
Yeah.
And so you felt like you were punishing yourself as well.
I did that. Actually, I did that.
God.
I actually did that, yeah. I got hurt many times while playing that. And I did that, yeah. I actually did that.
You see, as actors, I perform as Edith Piaf. When I go onto the stage, now Edith Piaf, the French singer, she was a drug addict. She was into everything. She was into heroin, drugs, everything. I never touched anything. But when I go on the stage, I always felt like I become the character. But then I do 1 hour,
exactly.
I do my singing, and then I walk away. You did. How was it filmed? Was it filmed every day for the 53 episodes? How was that? How did they film it?
It was on an average 15 to 20 days a month. Yeah, but these intense scenes were very exhausting. At times I was dead, completely dead, and I was good for nothing for next 2 3 days. Sometimes it happened with me when I was doing these hardcore intense scenes. Yeah, but yeah, 15 to 20 days a month.
You see, I had a
I'm very passionate. I'm actually I'm actually I'm just mad and passionate about this whole thing called cinema and acting, and I just love to give my everything into it, just everything. I don't want to hold back even one iota of myself. So that's me. I'm here for that. I've left my family 17 18 years back. I came to Mumbai. I've been through a lot in life just for this, and this is the in the future. I'm going to everything to it. Life. That's my purpose. Yeah.
Well, you did an incredible job. You know, you convinced all of us. And, you know, I can see now from what you're saying, I can see now how much you put into it. So it worked.
Yeah.
It basically, it worked.
Yeah.
But so you would come
Yeah.
home, but did you manage at all to switch off from the character in any way? Were you able at any point to switch off? How long did it take you to get him out of your system?
Shoot was at least 3 to 4 months. It was difficult to come out. Yeah, it took a long time. Maybe I'm not that to to have that control on that switch on and off button, being an actor. But I never forced myself to be normal. Because I was very emotionally attached to Devdutt, and I believed in him. According to me, Devdutt was not a negative guy. I believed in him. He was doing. He was thinking that he's right, and he has this faith and belief that a lot of injustice has happened with him, and so did I believe. So I just let it go the way it wanted to, and it took 3 to 4 months. I never forced myself or like took a break or went on a holiday. Nothing. I just didn't feel like doing anything. I was so attached to the character, so I let it happen naturally. Yeah, it took 3 to 4 months.
What was your point of view of being Devdutt? Because did you actually feel like that? For example, let's look at Yashodhara. I mean, there was tenderness in there. There was softness in there when he gives her the scarf. You know, there was romance in there. What I'm trying to say is, a lot of the time we felt with Devdutt that he was planning all the time. Like when he went to see Ajustra, I can't pronounce his name. You know, the king, Ajustra, the king, Bimbisara's son.
Ajat Shatru.
Shatru.
Yeah.
We went to see him.
Ajat Shatru. Yeah.
Everything was planned with him. You know, it's like, I'm going to do this, and this is how it's going to be, like a war. But when it came to your relationship with Yashodhara, you had this tenderness. There was love in there. Is that true, or was that all part of his scheming and his planning?
Devdutt has full loyalty towards the country and for the love he had in his heart. Actually, very much in love with Yashodhara, and there was the frustration in his life was because of that he could not become the king because he was so much in love with the country. He was a true warrior, and he wanted to serve the country. He wanted to serve the country in his own, and he wanted to get married to Yashodhara. And these were the two factors which he could not get in his life, and that was the cause of the frustration. So when it comes to Yashodhara, they didn't have done anything for her. Right. Actually, he has pushed his mother and went against his father, and the father that nobody can stop me from getting Yashodhara. So he believed in that. There was no plan which has any kind of cunningness into it. It was right from his heart. He believed in that Yashodhara, he is the right one for the Yashodhara. So there was a lot of heart into it.
It came across that in the beginning where he gives her all these flowers, and then Buddha, when they were little, I mean, okay, you weren't the actor, but the character, he gives her lots of flowers, and Buddha gives her, and Siddharth gives her a seed, and she grows all these flowers. You do, and you start to feel, but he was doing it from the time he knew her. He was trying to do this from the heart, but somehow you look a bit at Siddharth and you think, oh, he's a bit of a goody two shoes, you know, he's too good to be true, because everything goes right for him, and you know that seed grew into a wonderful garden of flowers. Do you see what I mean? And you look at Devdutt, and you know he grows on you. You just start to have a lot of feelings of compassion towards him, and he's so, in a lot of ways you feel like he's misunderstood. And quite honest, Yashodhara should have married him. I mean, like, look what happened. The poor woman was left, you know, on her own with a baby. And people weren't very happy at Siddharth when he did that. Not until he became Buddha and we understood, you know, the whole message behind it. But she should have married you. She should have married Devdutt, because quite honestly, he would have been there. Let's put it that way. So I'm just going to take a short break now, because we need to have an advert from our sponsor. And when we come back, we're going to watch a little bit of the death scene of where Devdutt dies, you know, at the end, which was, it was just, we're all in tears. We're all in tears. It was very, very powerful. And you should win an Oscar for that, if there is such a thing as Oscars for in India. You should win an Oscar for that.
It's over for me. I mean, I can't think of that, but if you're saying so, I'll start thinking like maybe someday it can happen also.
I'm going to ask
wishes,
you. Sorry, Jagat. I'm going to ask you some questions after we've watched the scene, a little bit of the scene. So we're going to come back after the break, and then I'm going to ask Jagat to talk about his real feelings of what was really going on inside him as he was doing that death scene. So, welcome to Moving On TV, the new TV channel for us, the positive, inspirational TV channel. On board Moving On TV, the new positive channel, the channel that gives you hope.
Hello, my name is Martin Oswald of Martin Oswald Hypnotherapy. I specialise in smoking cessation, weight loss, phobia release, stress management and hypnobirthing. I can do a free assessment via the phone, via Skype or face-to-face at any time. So that's Martin Oswald of Martin Oswald Hypnotherapy. Looking forward to your call now. You can also find me on my Facebook page, which is Martin Oswald Hypnotherapy.
क्रोध करना अपनी हथेली पर गर्म कोयले को रखने के समान जो हम किसी दूसरे पर फेंकना चाहते हैं, पर इस क्रिया में हम स्वयं को ही हानि पहुंचा रहे हैं। आपसे जब आप मांगने योग्य भी नहीं हूं मैं। शांति से जाओगे बहुत बहुत क्षति पहुंचाई है मैंने बहुत। मुझे तो कुछ भी स्मरण नहीं। बुद्ध धर्म और संघ हर मनुष्य के अंतर में स्वयं को जगाने की क्षमता बुद्ध है। जागने के बाद हम जिस पथ पर चलते हैं वो पद धर्म है। स्वयं के मन को एकाग्रित करना, उसे केंद्रित करना और उसे एकत्रित करना संग। और ये तीनों रत्न तुम्हारे अंतर में धर्मम शरणम गच्छामि संघम शरणम गच्छामि।
We just saw the demise, the death scene of our lovely Dev dying on his deathbed. Now, I thought he was going to recover. I really did think he would come through, because somehow he came through everything. And I thought, oh, he's not going to die. They're not going to let him die. But as you see, he lay on his deathbed and he said, Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Is that right? Do you want to say it? The last three lines.
I'll say that, but before that,
what does he say?
I'll definitely do that. I have a very interesting incident to share on the same sequence. That they had a stunt man, like a stunt who was performing that scene where actually David rolls down from the cliff and he falls down. But I was standing there and I was not happy with the intensity and the force which was coming into that. So I wanted to do that on my own. So I requested the director that I want to do this scene on my own.
Oh my God.
Risky.
Sure.
So I actually pushed that guy to you stay aside and I'm going to do it on my own. That, and it really, like, everybody appreciated that. So if I see that cliff now, I can't believe that I have actually rolled down the cliff and without any protection as such, and I did that. But that was the flow, that was the charge, that was the intent, that was the which David used to rule me, actually, my body and my senses, and I allowed him to do that. So, and yeah, and then we scene, and you want me to say Buddham Sharanam Gacchami.
I want you to say it.
That Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I'm like kind of singing right now, but I can't become that. I can't become that because it was a completely different state of mind. Yeah.
Of course. But
I can't relate myself that I did that.
Let me just explain to whoever doesn't know about Buddhism, because I'm going to a 5-day silent retreat in Amaravati. I live very near a Buddhist retreat, and we always do a bit of the chanting.
Oh,
so just so you know, means I come to the Buddha, and then I come to the Dhamma, which is the way, the path, and then I come to the Sangha, which is the community. And it's really the last things that you say. But what I want to ask you, honestly, from the heart, was Devdutt really surrendering at that point? Or did he think, oh, I'm going to get you in another life, Buddha? What do you say? What would you say? Did he surrender?
No, that was... Of course, he did surrender. He did surrender. And I again want to tell you this thing, that David, he always did what he believed in. And that time, he was actually... He actually believed that when he should surrender, and this is the time, that was the time he realized that this is the same guy who always has been, I thought Buddha was my enemy, but taking care of me when I was completely down on the ground, injured and almost on the deathbed. And that time what Buddha told me that, don't worry, just go. And I asked him that I'm really sorry for whatever I've done to you. And he said, I don't remember anything. So that was the time David was completely shaken off. That malice in his heart. There's no complaints. He's just fine with whatever is happening in that.
Because,
so it was the realization time.
Because you do see the flashbacks, don't you? You see the flashbacks of where Buddha was so kind to him.
Yeah. That was David's state of mind.
Yeah. It's so touching.
It was like, as I said, I hoped he wasn't going to die. I really didn't want him to die. But, he was suffering so much. And now physically, it's really good to hear you say that. So with every last breath, he was able to say, okay, that's it. I surrender.
I now believe that all you wanted for me was
Actually crying so much
be
that time.
happy.
Yeah.
You were crying.
Yeah.
Your performance was
I was actually crying. Yeah.
Oscar, as I say. You should win an Oscar. Do they have?
I was crying.
Have you won? Have you won any awards for your
I just say
awards for your performance?
there are not many awards here for. No, no, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
In that category, we don't have such many of awards. But yeah, who doesn't want to win? I would love to.
Well, you've won an award with me, that's for sure. You know, moving on TV, we think you're incredible. And
Yeah.
well, more about. I have to ask you some more questions about Devdutt, and what about the relationships with your co-actor? Because you obviously Himanshi Sun. You
Yeah.
get on with him, so obviously, you know, actors always get on. Luckily. So, but what happened when you started to feel so much like Devdutt? Did that come between you and him? Did you start to feel uncomfortable around him? Did it affect your
Yeah.
friendship? It affected your friendship.
Actually, you caught it at the right note. Of course, it did in between, because I was so much into the character that I started hating him, and we never used to talk much during the shoot, and we accepted it because we knew, being both of us are actors, and we knew why is it happening. So in that particular time, yeah, of course, there was a disconnect. There was like, we don't feel like talking. We don't want to stay. On the contrary, we started shooting this show, we both were given the same room, because the same makeup room was given to both of us. And but gradually, as the shoot progressed, as the months passed and all, I started developing that sense of jealousy for him on personal basis also. And it was all because of the impact of the character I was playing. And yeah, and one day, actually, it happened that I just went and I fell on his feet, and I thought, you are the one who's going to give moksha and nirvana to me. It just happened. I don't know why it happened. I was just thinking about Devdutt, and I was maybe thinking about the end of Devdutt, and it just something entered my body or my mind or my soul, and I just went and I fell on his feet, and he was surprised that why am I doing so. And the director said that it happens when the actors are too much into method acting, so they tend to behave like the character. So my frame of mind was, so I actually did that.
Oh,
So
it's quite frightening actually what happened to you. And you
yeah,
know,
it was.
luckily you were able to pull yourself back, because I mean Devdutt really did, he was very evil. You know, he did kill a lot of people, he beheaded a few people, you know, and as you say, luckily you were able to pull yourself back. Do you meditate?
Yeah.
Are you a Buddhist yourself?
Of-
Do you study
yeah.
Buddhism?
I've started. Yeah, that's something which I would like to talk on. That since I've done this series Buddha, I tend to understand what Buddha's teachings were, because I was in the black space. I was experiencing the black color, experiencing the negative part. So I have developed the value for white, developed the value for goodness, developed the values for what Buddha has taught. Into that dark space, so I know the value of light now. So that has pulled a lot of my side into his teachings, and I've started meditating, and it's and I hear his dialogues, and especially the things which used to come at the end of the every show, a particular saying, particular preaching, or particular line about what that episode actually concludes into. And I have all the recordings with me, and I listen to them very often, and I can connect.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful.
Being Devdutt, I know the value of Buddha.
Did you have any, apart from that, did you feel you needed to go for therapy or anything like that to exercise the character as well? No. Luckily you didn't need to do that.
No.
Okay, good. What did your parents think about you playing Devdutt? Your family, how did they feel about it when they saw your character and the character you're playing and your acting? How did your family feel about it?
So yeah, I've been away from family for now like 17 years, and I don't generally share much of my professional experiences with them. But yeah, of course, like any other parent, they were very, very happy and delighted to see me on national team,
Yeah.
a role, and where people are also congratulating them that yeah, because everybody has good things to say about the performance and the character and the series.
You
So
know,
very
you
happy to know
remind
that. Yeah, but
your
on
sorry, go on.
person,
Your
no, it's
story.
fine.
Your story reminds me of a film. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was based on an actor. I think Laurence Olivier played the character. An actor was playing the part of Othello, you know, where he strangles Desdemona in Shakespeare. This is from Shakespeare. I think
Okay.
Laurence Olivier played the part, and the actor was getting so obsessed with being Othello that at some point he actually tries to strangle his wife because he thinks that she is Desdemona. He thinks that she
Oh,
is
is it so?
betraying him. So there's a film. It's a film. Don't worry, it's a film. But you see, so people have thought about this and how the character can take
No, yeah.
someone's life. You could write a book about it. It's an incredible experience. I mean, have you thought about putting it down on paper and writing about my experiences as devdut or something like that?
Yeah, it's a good idea actually. Let me try a hand on that. Yeah, or maybe let me have some more experience about acting, and then I'll have some more things to write on it. In it, let me do some characters. I hope I get to play, and then something more should be added to the book, and not just Devdutt.
Well,
But it's a good idea.
I think what you portrayed, the characters that you portrayed in Buddha, I don't think you could really go any further. Is there anybody, who could you play? Who do you want to play? Is there anyone that could take you to such levels? Is there any character that you feel personally you'd like to play to take you even further as a method actor? Because I think it's incredible. I wouldn't be brave enough to play something like, we don't say it, but you know Lady M from Shakespeare? We don't say the name because it's supposed to be bad luck. But she was very, very cruel and manipulated her husband, as you know, to go kill everyone. And I've healed a mental illness. And I personally don't feel that I could do that. I feel that it would really screw at my head and make me sick. But anyway, coming back to you, that's why I think you're incredibly brave and incredibly courageous to do what you did, the way you've done it. And you kind of surrendered. You surrendered your whole mind, body, and
Yeah.
spirit to everything, to the part. And we're grateful because we got this incredible performance that inspired us. But who would you like to play? I know you've moved on now to doing another character in Lipstick Under Your Burqa, which we'll talk about in a minute. But before we do,
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything like that. From what I've seen a little bit, some of the footage, the character you're playing, he seems quite tame compared to, well, yeah. Who would you, as an actor, aspire to play that could give you the level of emotions, maybe the other extreme of joy? I don't know. Have you got anyone in mind that you'd aspire to play?
Yeah. I would like to play Alexander.
Right. Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Warrior. Yeah, I
All
would
right.
like to play. Yeah, Alexander the Great. I would like to play that. Yeah, because he was again an extremist.
Right.
So I'm sure I don't know much about him, but yeah, I know that he tried to conquer the world, and you can imagine the thought process of a person who's trying to win the world, and he quite did it also. And at 33, he was just gone. So he lived a life, and he has left his name for the rest of the world to think that, oh, Alexander was like such. And we say that Alexander the Great. I just said Alexander, and you added the word great.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I would like to play Alexander.
And of course, you will get the throne. You'll get the throne. You'll get the throne.
This is the
Everything. You did everything to try and get that.
This is the throne where I get love, and it comes back to you. Yeah.
And I mean, just coming back to Devdutt again. He originally, you say your older brother. You know when they have the incident with the bird, you say to Siddharth, "Are you going to do something to upset your older brother?" But you weren't his brother; you were his cousin. Is that right? Not his older brother. You were his cousin,
Yeah.
right? Because,
Cousin, first cousin. Yeah.
but again, when you look into the research, they say that Devdutt was his stepbrother. So it's not. He wasn't. Not exactly sure whether he was his stepbrother or his cousin. There's a bit of whether there was
No, it
something
was
happened.
cousin. It was
It
his.
definitely was
Yeah.
his cousin,
His.
right? His older
Yeah.
cousin.
Cousin.
And obviously, you see in the beginning,
Yeah.
he was everything to the king before Siddharth was born. Devdutt.
Before Siddharth was born, yeah, he was
Exactly. Yeah.
captured by the king, and then once Siddharth was born, yeah, the
That was
focus
it.
went to Siddharth, and
That
that
was
was one
it.
of the reasons he felt neglected,
Yeah, of
and the
course.
frustration
Of course.
building after that.
Of course.
First thing which went away from Devdutt after Siddharth was born was the love and affection and all the tension which he used to get from the king
Went to Siddharth.
family, which all went to Siddharth once he was born. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that's why I started thinking from that point of view, but that's why I justify this. As a child, he has faced a lot when he was 4, and like he was made believe that he's the one who's going to be sitting on the throne when Siddharth was not born. And the moment Siddharth came, and he was completely neglected. So as a child, he has to go through a lot. So that was the route where it's all in Devdutt. And then it went on and on and on. First, the bird was given to Siddharth, and then it was Yashodhara, and then it grown, and then it was everything.
Everything bit by bit, and it got to the point where we knew inside, it became a bit like a pantomime, because you knew that Devdutt was that Siddharth and Buddha was always going to win. The good and the compassion was going to win, and it started to become. Do you know what a pantomime is?
Yeah.
Where you have the boo, the villain, Mangala, your mother in it, the Devdutt's mother, Mangala. She was so cruel as well. To see that everything that happened to Devdutt, everything that started to happen was going to go wrong. Everything. It was like a Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
You knew wrong. You just knew it. But then as it happened, when you look at it from outside, you can see that how much he struggled. I mean, have you watched it? Have you watched it since you let go of the character? Have you stood back and watched the series and see what do you think when you watch it? Without being in it, when you stand back, what do you think about it?
See, being an actor now, being an actor, you always try to, or maybe I can say being an artist, whenever you look back to your work, what you've done, first thing which comes in your mind is that I could have done it better. So it's very difficult to get that part out of your mind, and you always focus on what you have done and the technicalities and the way you performed. So I try to see it and try to understand, but the first thing which strikes me is, oh, I could have done this scene better. Oh, I could have done this also in that. Oh, I could have done that also in that.
Okay,
so,
what happens after that goes?
That's what comes across my mind.
Because we want everything perfect as actors and performers. It's always like that. But when that goes, what else? What's your observations about your performance after that, or the character? Can you see anything from the point of view of an audience of the actual what's happening, the way everything's unfolding?
Story, I always was very much involved from the day one only. So there's nothing much I explore now because I've lived it with such closeness and with such depth. So as story wise and as the content wise, I was always very much aware and always into it. So there's nothing much to explore. Yeah, you try to do those things in your life, what you learn from Buddha, and that gives you new experiences. But just looking at the series and all, I was already there into it, so nothing much, and all the attention goes to the performance and the technicalities of the show. Or this shot could have been, because now I'm trying to direct also a movie, so I look at the direction point of view, that the way the series was shot, and the emotions of the dial, and the actors, the delivery, the camera angles, and all. So mine goes into those things rather than getting the emotional, and that's already been extracted out of it.
Some of the scenes were extraordinary. I mean, the scene when Buddha is sitting there meditating, Amara with the arrows and the colors, and it's just absolutely amazing. They did so much amazing, beautiful scenes. Anyway, let's leave let's leave Devdu for a while. I want to come back and do another interview with you. Once I come back from my retreat, I'd love to do another interview with you, and maybe do a couple of interviews, because this is just fascinating.
Please share those experiences.
And it's fascinating. I'm so excited. First of all, so you're just finished working on a film called Lipstick Under the Burqa. Is that right? I mean, I looked at a few scenes of it. It looks very, very brave film, a very brave, courageous film to be in, especially the way we live our lives at the moment. So basically, it's about are they Muslim women that literally they let go of their Muslim life, and they go out and party and have fun, and that's the representation of the lipstick. Is that right?
It's not just about Muslim girls. It's about a female individuality, especially in our country, or where females are suppressed. They're not given freedom. They cannot choose what they want to. They are not allowed to choose. So the burqa is basically a metaphor. It doesn't literally mean the burqa, but it's a metaphor which is used, that all the desires, all the wishes are actually hidden under this burqa, which is the male-dominated society.
Right.
Which is the male power, which try to overpower the women.
It's very brave.
So it doesn't actually, it's not about Muslims, it's about women.
About women in particular. And so who do you play in it? What's your character?
I played a swimming coach in the film. A swimming coach, a young swimming coach, and who teaches girls and how to swim, and that's where the actress who's opposite to me, Ratna Pathak Shah, she's a legend herself, and she falls in love with this guy, and she has her own fantasies, and that's how the story builds up between both of us. And have you seen the movie, or have you seen any rushes or something?
I saw a little bit on YouTube. I watched a little bit. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. We'll probably get it on Netflix. We get everything on Netflix.
It's on Netflix now.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I'm definitely going to watch it. So you play a nice
It's getting released in US also now in September.
Well, we need it.
Yeah.
We need it. It's what we need. And good luck with that. I think it's incredible that to be
Thank you so
making
much for
films
that.
like that. It's so important, isn't it? It's all about freedom of speech and freedom, So you play a nice guy in this?
To do what you want,
Yeah. But your character
I mean, the character is a very normal character.
He's just a normal guy.
It's not based on sexuality. I'm saying it's a very ordinary person. Any ordinary have affairs or would like to flirt and will do a part-time job. So you can't actually categorize it in a good or a bad character. We all are gray actually in our own lives. So he's a very ordinary guy who has his own gray shade to it, and he just get into that interaction with this lady who is 48, 50, but he never knew that he's talking to the lady. He has his own fantasies, and he was thinking that he's talking to someone else, which he used to find very attractive at the pool. So this whole thing builds into a mystery, and which unfolds into the reality, which actually hits him very badly, and then he has this little gray element that he goes and he complains, and you have to see the film. Actually, I can't talk much about the film. If you have not seen, you must see the film.
So Buddha. I mean, you finished it in, was it 2013, 2014 when you finished film Buddha? 2014 or 2013?
14.
Right. Okay. So
14.
you took
Yeah.
a long.
End of 14.
Okay, you took quite a lot of breaks. You took a long break first, and then you went back. Did you to
Yeah.
performing this
Yeah.
character? Okay, so I have a question for someone here wants to know. Do you feel that Bollywood it
Are
represents?
we live right now? Are we live
No,
right now?
no. I've just got questions here that people have given me. No, we're not live. That's why we're going to be editing it.
Okay. Okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
No, we're not
Okay.
live. We're not
Okay.
streaming.
Okay.
Um, do you feel that Bollywood represents
Okay.
reality more than Hollywood? Somebody asked me if you could you explain that? Do you feel that Bollywood gives people more of a representation of the reality of life more than Hollywood?
See, the scenario in Bollywood is now changing, and we are making more movies which are close to reality. We are working on biopics. We are working on films which earlier it used to be a lot of fantasies in the film. Yeah, but now it's changing. About Hollywood, I can't say much because I'm not really too much into Hollywood movies. I stick to my Bollywood and I enjoy Bollywood movies, and that's where I get all the inspiration to make Bollywood movies. But yeah, the scenario is changing now, and we are making realistic films. We are taking up issues which have been very which has made their presence felt in society, which has something to convey through medium of cinema. Biopics are being made, and stories on sportsmen, and they're being liked by so many people here. So they are doing very well. So I can't say much about Hollywood.
Okay. And another question I have before we finish, and as I say, I'm going to do another interview with you about DevDoes. I'm sure I am. Sure, I'm going to get new questions and stuff. Is if you another
Yeah.
actor came to see you and said that they were going to have to play something like the character of DevDoes, what would be your advice to them? How would you help them to maybe have an easier time and to maybe not go through as much as you did? A little bit less
See,
suffering in real life.
I know. Uh, I don't actually. I'm not much bothered about it. For me, the passion level is that much that it should be conveyed on screen anyhow. And I have taken the route of going through meditation, thinking and believing, and just closing my eyes and try to see and visualize the thing and that era, and started believing that if I am Devdutt, what will happen to me? How will I start thinking? What will be my life like? What will I do when I'll get up in the morning? What will I do when I'll be sleeping?
Mm.
What will be my thought process? What are the things which I like? What are the things which troubles me most? What is more important for me? So the whole thought process changes once you get such character, and you cannot portray the character like in 1 or 2 days. It needs time to get your system. It needs time to build that faith into the character. You have to have that faith and belief in the character, and it takes time. It can take up to months. It can get there. You can get there in days also. It depends upon the character and how close you are to that. If I have to play an ordinary guy who is working for a young guy of 2017, it won't be much difficult, I'm sure. But going into the history past that era, which such qualities were had, I think you need a lot of preparation. A lot of preparation.
Do you have any plans to come to England? Because I would love to interview you directly with a proper, without all the Zoom, because it's much better, obviously, face to face. Any plans to come to England?
Country, I really want to come and there because I know people. I have heard great things about London, about UK, about England. The legacy, the aristocracy. You guys have ruled the world, and I want to see the country which has ruled the world. So yeah, I would love to. Right now, I'm working on a film. Let me get done with it, and I'll definitely come for a week or so.
Wonderful. I'll take you to Amravati, and then you can see this beautiful, huge Buddhist retreat. If you
Please do connect when you are here.
like nice big salads, Mediterranean salads, and the food is wonderful. You love it. So it's been a pleasure, Jagat. It's been an incredible pleasure to interview you. And as I say, when I come back from the retreat, I'll get in touch with you. And when you come to England, we'll interview you directly, and it'll be so great, you know, to be able to get you properly on the camera and everything. But in the meantime, it's been wonderful. I suppose that it must be very, very hot in Mumbai at the moment. Very hot, the weather.
Very pleasant. It's very pleasant here. It's been raining. No, it's monsoon here. It's quite pleasant here. It's been raining, and on this interview and in this interaction, I want to thank you for letting me come and interact with you. And it's an honor, and all the kind words and wishes you have given to me. I really mean.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and
would love to interact with you in the future. Yeah.
I hope you know that we really do respect and have so much. I can't think of the word, but respect for your performance and you as an actor and everything you portrayed. As I said, I thought it was really important to be able to talk to you to help you let go of that a little bit more. And I knew I was going to interview you. I just knew. I thought I'm definitely going to get in touch with you and interview you. So thank you for getting back to us so quick.
All my honor.
And for being so committed and responsible. And I'll let you know when we release this. So take care. Thank you, everyone. And that was Jagat Singh from Mumbai with awesome people around the globe on Moving On TV. And if you want to come on here with your unique story, I can't wait. You can get to the studio and we will film you. Or if you're on Zoom somewhere in the world, anywhere in the world, we can now film you. So have a beautiful day and namaste for Moving On TV. And you can always get in touch with me, with Lauren with an E, at movingontv.uk. Take care now. Bye.